Welcome to the True Grime Stories podcast, where in every episode, we'll unravel a new mystery of cleaning business transformation from a grimy mess to a great success. Join me, your host, Jeannie Henderson, as together we dig up cleaning business secrets that you've been dying to know. Hello, everyone out there in the cleaning industry, and I'm so glad you're here for this episode of True Grime Stories. I'm your host, Jeannie Henderson, and our guest today is a multi-business entrepreneur, and I'm so excited to introduce Sabrina Jones to you. She is the owner of Maids of Möhver in Spokane Valley, Washington. And Maids of Möhver is actually part of a larger business called Möhver. It's a moving company. And isn't that a clever play on words? And also she has a wine storage business, which I think is pretty cool, called Put a Cork in It. And that all kind of works together. So I love the ingenuity there. And she started her business back in 2010. But she has a background in marketing and digital media, and she is passionate about writing, about leadership, and building businesses from the ground up. I've gotten to watch her journey over the last several years, and it's been fun to watch her businesses grow. So I'm so glad to welcome you today. Thank you for being here, Sabrina.
Thanks, Jeannie. I'm so excited to be on your podcast.
Yeah, this is going to be a great one.
Yeah.
I know you've got lots of great stories to share. So tell me, how did you get the idea to start your moving and then cleaning business? I love that the name Move Her, and I think that's one of those industries that everybody needs it. There's always a shortage of moving companies.
Right. Yeah. Or nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to move.
Yeah.
I actually had no industry experience in either moving or cleaning, but I had actually recently gone through a divorce. And so I was a single mom, and I was working at a university here in Spokane called Gonzaga University. If you're a basketball fan, you probably have heard of Gonzaga. Go Zags.
Oh, Gonzaga.
Go Zags. Yeah. And so while I was there, I enrolled in the MBA program because you could go to school there for free. So why not get another degree, right? And then when I went through my divorce, I couldn't go back to my house to get my things. So I had to rent a truck, and I got a couple of college students to go down and get my stuff. And so that was sort of the impetus of me going, I wonder what I could do that would help. And if my initial reaction was, what could I do to help women?
Mm-hmm.
Because it was like, women tend to be the ones that are, organizing things for their own family or for their parents. And so that's kind of how it started. And then I actually grew up on a farm, 1,000-acre, like wheat and barley farm with cattle and pigs and chickens. And my poor dad got 4 girls.
And so you were living with a bunch of women.
Yeah, but I was the closest he got to a boy because I was always hanging out with my dad. I was always out, hauling hay or driving the wheat truck. And so thinking about moving, I was like, well, that sounds kind of fun. I'll be out on a truck, and, and my writing background and marketing background, I just thought, what, I think I could do this better. And so that's just sort of how it started. I would move on the weekends. I kept my job for the first 2.5 years. And then to even be a little more different, we offered the move out cleaning services as well as part of the moving company at that point.
I think that's genius. Really.
Yeah.
So genius.
Yeah.
Wow. And so how, what size is your business today, and what portion of it is moving and storage? And then what portion is the cleaning?
Yeah. So 15 years later, they each have their own, tax ID number. I finally separated them. It took me way longer than it should have, but the moving company is definitely the larger as far as revenue goes of the two, just because if you think about it, a move can cost on average around $1,500, where maybe an average clean is, I don't know, $180 or $210. So from that perspective, of course, you're going to generate more revenue from the moving company. But the cleaning company is very profitable. And I would say in a way much more manageable because the hours are way crazier than a cleaning company, because you might book a job for an 8-hour move and it ends up taking 11 or 12. and you don't stop moving people just because it goes over time. So
Yeah, it's hard to estimate, I'm sure, how long it's going to take. I know we just went through this with my son moving, and they asked us a lot of questions about his possessions and how many boxes, but
yeah,
then once he wasn't really fully packed when he scheduled his move, and he ended up having like double the boxes that he thought he had, and I mean,
yeah.
it's hard. People can't really estimate what they have in their house.
No, but just it's amazing how far the technology has come. And so now we can either do like, I'll just call it a FaceTime video to simplify it, but we can do a live video with prospects, whether that's cleaning or moving, to have them take us through their home. But especially if we're going to do packing, they can open up their cupboards and their closets, and we can see, and we know, right? Because we're doing this every day. Like, we know how many 6.0s or how many wardrobes or how many mirror, like, we know all those things. But if you just like what you said, I don't, the average person has no idea how many boxes they're going to have if they're going to do their own packing.
That's really smart,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
with the technology that we have today, it's crazy not to use it. Every once in a while I hear there's an excuse. Well, certain people, they're not tech savvy and they can't figure out how to use their phone that way or whatever. But really, that's probably such a small percentage of people who can't
Yeah.
manage a
Yeah.
camera on their phone.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is. Yeah.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot.
Well, I
Yeah.
love
I tell everybody, I go, you're just a movie star, just waiting to be discovered.
that's a good way. I'm going to use that. Yeah. That's a good one. I like that a lot.
And it's awesome because we can hear them, and it's fun to hear they'll introduce their cats and their dogs to us on their video. And yeah, it can be a lot of fun. So
Yeah. No, that's great. And I think that should be an encouragement to everyone listening today. Like, take advantage of this technology more,
right. Yeah.
because one of the things that, and I'm going to get off track, but one of the things that like my team members said to me when I stopped doing in-home estimates was they missed the fact that somebody had eyes on the house before them.
Right. Yeah.
And that's how we bridge that, going from in-home estimates to doing phone estimates, is we can still use photographs, we can still use video,
Yes,
live
100%.
video.
Yeah. Even
Mhm.
if they can't do the videos, like you said, pictures are great. They can text those pictures, to your line or to an email. So easy. So yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
takes a
Don't,
little bit of encouragement to some people.
right. Kind of have to walk them through it,
Yeah,
click that little thing that looks like a camera on your phone. And
right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I love the ingenuity of combining moving and cleaning together.
Yeah.
I think you're the first person I've ever run into who's done that, but it makes a whole lot of sense. And it makes me think, should we be partnering with moving companies more?
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
granted, you're going to get a lot of those one-time cleans, which aren't your preference usually, right? They're the
I
hardest to
only want the people who are moving in. I don't want the people who are moving out.
fair, very fair.
Yeah, but no, you're right.
Great relationship for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
Um,
great referral partner to have, I'm sure.
yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So you started this moving business
Yeah.
and you were doing just move in, move out cleanings. And then how did the recurring part of your business get started?
Yeah. So over the years, and it was probably around 2017, that over the years, people had said, do you do recurring cleaning? And I was like, I don't need another thing to do. Thank you. But, I'm good. And then somehow, and Jeannie, I don't remember, but somehow Debbie Sardone appeared on my Facebook feed. And I was like,
She has a way of just appearing in people's lives.
yeah,
A genie.
surprise.
Like, where did
Yeah,
she come
I'm
from?
here. And I was like, huh. And part of me, to be honest, was like, I don't need somebody to tell me. I've already been running this moving company. I know how to run a company, right? I was a little full of myself, to be honest. And then I got over myself and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try to reach this lady. And so we had a phone conversation, and then I ended up going to um, one of her conferences, and proceeded to get food poisoning. And so I missed the entire first day. I was
Oh
in
no.
it was so awful. It
Oh
was
my
so awful.
goodness.
I missed the entire first day. It was terrible, Jeannie.
Was
And
it in Dallas?
it was in Dallas.
Oh
Yeah.
my
And I was like
God.
emailing Diana and I was like, I'm so sorry. And like, I begged somebody from the
I
hotel.
kind of almost remember Diana talking about something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I begged somebody from the hotel staff just to leave me a Sprite outside my hotel door because it was the worst. But
So
anyway,
heartbreaking.
it was such a bummer, but I still learned a ton, and that was my introduction to CBF and the community and the people there. I just wish I would have been more myself for that very first get together. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
rough.
It's
But
the worst.
I learned so much there because I mean, I learned how to hire, I learned how to pay, I learned how to market, I learned how to, I mean, retain, I learned all the things, right?
Mhm.
In such great detail that I never would have known had I tried to do it all on my own.
Yeah, and you think about how many years you could have been stabbing in the dark at all the different possibilities, all the,
Yeah,
a thousand different ways you can combine different strategies to build a business
right.
and never land on that one that seems to be almost a magical formula for running a recurring residential cleaning business. Yeah. I know I stabbed at a lot of things that did not work.
Right.
I was only in business for a year before I started learning what I call the right way to run a cleaning business. And yeah, but I've met people who've been out there, for more than 20 years trying to
Yep.
figure it out.
Yeah.
And
You get
yeah, so
comfortable in your own rut, right? It's kind of scary to get out of it.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, this is True Grime Stories. And of course, we want to hear about some of your grime. We don't want to hear about all the good things. So, because there are challenges, and I'm sure as an entrepreneur, you have had many, and many we just never could have thought of before we, got crazy and dropped our feet into the water of entrepreneurship. But so as I talk about, having a grime scene, what's a grime scene that you had in your residential cleaning business that it took some challenge to get out of or get through?
Oh boy, yeah, that's unfortunately a very easy question for me to answer. I wasn't paying attention.
Mm.
So, as I said earlier, the moving company generates the most revenue, right? I'm not
Mhm.
saying that's what gives me the most income at the end of the day, right? But still, it's the beast that demands and gets most of the attention. So the
Mhm.
cleaning was always like, oh, this little thing that, yeah, just I was not paying attention to it. And
Okay.
although I had gone through Debbie's program and I had like 1.5 people managing the office, they weren't following the CBF way. And I wasn't, as Debbie likes to say, inspecting what I expected. And
Mm. Yeah.
so once I started doing that, I found some really unfortunate things, but I started putting things in place like weekly meetings, what things that needed to be done, conversion rates, blah, blah, all these things. And the person that was in charge just didn't want to listen to me. And I mean, I did this for probably 3 months, and the writing was on the wall. This person was a friend, and which made it even harder.
Yeah, but many of us do that. Many of us do
Yeah,
hire someone close to us to
yeah,
help us in our business.
yeah. But I
It
mean,
seems to make sense at the time.
yeah, it was just so I had to let her go.
Mm.
Because and I actually talked to Debbie about it. I talked to somebody else about it, and I knew what I needed to do. I just didn't want to do it. And so not only did I fire her, but I lost her friendship along with other friends that were friends with her. So I tell people all the time, I go, I don't know. I didn't know that owning my own business, I would create so many enemies. But I feel that way, not a ton, but if you aren't paying attention or if you overhire, right, especially administratively, and then you realize if your business is going to survive, you're going to have to make some changes. And it's not a personal thing, but it's a business decision. And unfortunately, by hiring friends, it can have a personal impact. And that can be, even if you say, this is not a personal thing, this is just something I have to do. I'm putting my business
Mhm.
cap on, my friend cap is off, but this is what I need to do. And that's been hard. That's been
Yeah,
hard,
it
but
is hard.
I don't know. So that would be my grime story for sure. But
Yeah. So
But
when
I mean,
you weren't watching your business, like what can you share? Like what were some of the results of like taking your eye off of
yeah,
the operations
we had
and
over
just letting somebody else just do whatever they wanted, right? Just
yeah,
do it.
we had keys from customers that we were no longer doing recurring cleans for that were still sitting in the filing cabinet. We had over $20,000 that needed to be collected from
Oh,
previous recurring cleans.
oh, that hurt. That made my chest hurt.
And I'm like, this isn't a moving company. This is a company that's maybe charging, because this was a few years ago, $150 a clean, $20,000. What's happening? Right.
Oh my gosh.
And I was paying way
Whew.
too much in commission for, and then I'm paying commission on jobs that were never collected on. So it was a disaster. And
I am feeling your pain right now. Like, oh my gosh, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So those were the things. And
Mhm.
yeah,
Those
those were the,
are some big things,
those were the big things.
but from my perspective though, I can see how it happens,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially when we have multiple businesses going.
Right.
Um, and it's
Yeah.
really easy to get pulled into the one that's screaming the loudest,
Right.
that
Yeah.
has the biggest pieces of equipment, you
Exactly.
know.
Yeah. And at that time, I was still going out and doing on-site estimates for my moving company, and but I can't give excuses. I just wasn't paying attention and was hoping that things were working okay, and so I blame myself for that. And
Mhm.
yeah, so lesson learned for sure.
Yeah, so you had to do some hard things
Yeah.
and make some really big decisions. Well, I this is something that many of us face. So I'm so glad that you're sharing it, although I'm sorry that you had to go through it, but I think many of us can learn from it. I think this is a great place for us to just take a quick break because, CBF was the thing that kind of helped you know what you needed to do. So let's share with everyone a little bit about CBF with this quick announcement, and then we'll be right back with Sabrina to learn more about how she got through her grime story. Is your cleaning business a grime story? There's no need to stay stuck in the muck because you're not alone. With over 500 active members and more than 500 graduates of our Cleaning Business Fundamentals program, CBF is the #1 cleaning business academy in the world and has created more mop-free millionaires than any program in the industry. Learn more and let CBF take your residential cleaning business from a grime story to a gleaming success. Welcome back, everyone, to this episode of True Grime Stories with Sabrina Jones, the owner of Maids of Möhver in Spokane Valley, Washington. So, Sabrina, you were sharing your grime story about kind of taking your eye off of your business and trusting it into the hands of people you trusted, and it didn't go well. So you had to make some big changes. If you could go back in time and rewind, what happened, um, how would you have handled that differently?
Boy, I mean, I just would have paid attention, right? I
Mhm.
just would have put things in place earlier, because I think because I hadn't paid attention for that long, it it almost seemed, I guess from the employee's perspective, it almost seemed rude of me to come in and all of a sudden start wanting to make changes, because it hadn't been a problem for, a year, 2 years before.
Mhm.
And and at that time, Jeannie, all of the income and the expenses were all under the moving company. So it was really hard to figure out, well, what is our revenue? What are our expenses? And that's why, eventually I said, you know what? I need to take it out. I need to take it out,
Mhm.
run my P&L the CBF way. And
Mhm.
that has been eye-opening, for both the moving company and the cleaning company, because what I realized is that the cleaning company was literally operating in the red. Once I took those numbers out, and it couldn't be exactly correct because I couldn't get, all the numbers where I wanted them.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, if I could go back, I just would have I just would have kept paying attention. I would have had my expectations. I would have met more regularly. Yeah, I mean, I could beat myself up over it, but
yeah, no.
I know now.
Well, people who are successful, it's been proven over and over again that the business owners that are successful, nobody's an overnight success. Everybody learns from mistakes.
Yeah.
But it's the learning from mistakes that
Yep.
makes them ultimately successful. We're all failing forward. And
love that.
I'm sure that, so many times I like, as you're talking about this, like there's all these times that I have made, the similar choice of assuming that people are doing it the way I taught them to.
Right.
Assuming that they would tell me if something's wrong.
Yeah.
Or if they don't know what to do, and then I find this myself, even like sometimes I'm uncomfortable going into my business and asking questions because they're like, why are you asking me this question? If you're going to trust me to do this, why are you questioning me?
Right.
And so building that culture of accountability is something that has to be really intentional.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you kind of now created some accountability in your team. So what does that accountability cycle look like? You mentioned weekly meetings.
Yeah. So we do level 10 weekly meetings now. I do that for my moving company and for my cleaning company, which has been huge. And we are in the process of creating like a KPI dashboard.
Okay.
But so we've broken it out. So we have somebody that reports on operations, somebody who reports on sales, and which is like the weekly business snapshot or the month of it, right? And then somebody who's reporting on marketing. So those are sort of our three main areas for cleaning. And it just holds everybody accountable. And then we're able to have a discussion on, the problem solution part of the level 10 meeting without it being or seeming like a personal attack on anybody.
Right.
Right. And so it's been super helpful for both companies, actually, because, somebody like in the warehouse for the moving company might not have any idea what the recruiting manager, what kind of work he's doing or what he has to do or what his KPIs are. Right. And so it's good for everybody, and it gives everybody a more complete feel for how the business runs and how the different areas impact each other.
Yeah, and I can imagine that it kind of helps everybody support everybody.
Exactly.
Because I
Yeah.
think often people are like, well, I mean, if they would do their job, our business would be growing or whatever. But it's really, we don't really know what they're doing unless we're regularly reporting on that.
Right.
And
Right.
yeah, so the level 10 meeting that comes from the EOS entrepreneurial operating system and traction.
Yep.
So those of you who are listening, you're like, what's that?
Yeah.
Look it up, level 10. You can download the meeting agenda, but we use that as well. And it was a game changer.
Right.
For everyone on our team. I think it up-leveled everyone.
The hardest thing for me, Jeannie, was that it said that I had to be kind of quiet. Like I couldn't be the one to just go, oh, here's what I think we should do. Right. It was just like, if you're the owner, like try to take a step back and just like let other people come up with solutions. I don't know about you, but that's kind of hard for me to do.
Oh my gosh. Yes. It is like, it's so like, you have to be so intentional about not saying what you want to say,
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
And I try to guide people to my answer with questions.
I like that approach. That's great. Yes. Smart.
But it is. But then every once in a while I do catch myself just totally telling them what to do. And I think I'm missing out when I do that because they probably have some good ideas, they're in the trenches. They're the ones doing the work day to day. So but yeah.
Even though the level 10 came from EOS, I learned about it through CBF, right?
Yes, right. That's we started talking about it there.
Yeah. So there are so many just valuable resources that I have received just from being in CBF, whether it originated in
the scorecard or the weekly snapshot, like just to know. I mean, we always say know your numbers, but which numbers? What are they supposed to look like?
Right. Yes.
Like, what numbers am I supposed to be looking at? And then what the heck do they mean? I don't
Right.
know. Should
Right.
I have a 25% conversion rate? Should I have a 50% conversion rate? It's like
Yeah. 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 You could,
understanding that, like CBF really helped me with that too.
for sure. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love it that you then were able to then take that into your other business. And I think that, coaching programs, they help you no matter what business you're in. And, what we learn in cleaning business fundamentals, if we have other businesses, it can teach you how to run your other business too.
For sure. Yeah. It's so valuable. And just the community of the people in there is worth it was more than worth the investment. I mean, I've made so many great friends and so many, valuable colleagues that are in the same boat. And
Mhm.
just to have those resources available, and the different levels that Debbie has since broken out since she's become, her popularity just has continued to grow over the years, and she's continued to refine it to make sure everybody's getting the most value that they can based on where they are. So yeah, it's just been a total game changer for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you've been a great part of that community. I remember when you left Momentum and went into CBF Pros. I'm going to miss you in Momentum, but like so excited for you to be in Pros. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about that experience because you're in a cohort now, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm in one of, I think there's 4 cohorts. I'm not sure, but
Mhm.
yeah, joined Pros last fall, and it's been great. It's just a whole different level of understanding, once you hit, I think it's 500,000
Mhm.
is the current level anyway. You can get into the pros, and um, just really diving deep into specific strategies, whether that's something related to SEO or AI, and or talking about how to grow your leadership team. Hello, which obviously has been a struggle for me. Um, yeah, how to set up your office team. I mean, there's just so much value in there, and the groups are, at least right now, I think there's what, 90, 100 people
Yes,
in
about 100,
pros.
I think. Mhm.
Yeah, but these cohorts are small, and so again, you just get that really individualized attention. We've got Derek Christian,
Mhm.
and Debbie Sardone that we meet with on a regular basis. I just finished a really valuable, I think it was 2 or 3 hours, a webinar on the Google 3-pack.
Oh, yeah. I was in that too. That was so
Yeah,
good.
so good.
With Derek and Debbie. Yeah,
Yeah,
so good.
yeah, so I mean, uh I just can't say enough about it, the just support for every part of your journey, right?
Mhm.
And you're not just lumped into one group. It's like, and so that makes a difference. You lead Momentum, and that they've got their own situation. And it's not like you're not going to have those problems when you go to a different level, but you've learned those things, right?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
and as your business gets bigger, the challenges are there, but they present in a slightly different way or greatly different way. And it's so great to have the Ascension program inside of Cleaning Business Fundamentals so that every step, like you said, every step of your journey, you've got the support that you need,
Yeah.
a community around you of other people going through it as well.
Yep.
And I know a lot of cleaning business owners listen to this and they're out there going to this by themselves. And I remember the day of walking into one of those events and like all these people are doing exactly what I'm doing.
Right. Yeah.
It was like coming home. It was, like, "Ah, I found my people," and yeah. And you've been a great part of the community. And so couldn't wait to get you on here on True Grime Stories. And oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you talked about this particular topic of
Yeah.
inspecting what you expect, the accountability piece
Yeah.
for everyone on the team.
Yeah.
And it's so important.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. And once you know what key numbers or KPIs that you're looking at, it makes it easier to inspect those things.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
hard to inspect something if you're not quite sure what it's supposed to look like. So yeah, that really, really helps.
Yeah.
But yeah. And most of us in the cleaning industry have never supervised people, let alone supervised cleaning professionals or an administrative team. We've never hired a leadership team. So we're all starting from scratch.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A
Yeah.
lot of
So,
us have come from different backgrounds. I know you have a background in restaurants,
mhm,
hospitality. Uh,
mhm.
my background, I was an elementary school teacher. I was a basketball official. I was a stay-at-home mom, so I knew how to boss people around.
Yeah. Especially being a basketball official, you definitely did some bossing around.
Well, yeah, and
And
I'm
of
used
course, being a
to
mom.
half the room not agreeing with me at one time or another.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, all of our prior experiences help us, I think, when we take that leap into entrepreneurship, for sure. And
Mhm.
we shouldn't discount those, whether we did stay at home with our kids or we were in some other
Mhm.
profession. They all help. They all help us.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
help, but we definitely need some like industry specific assistance.
Oh,
So
for
that's
sure.
why we created True Grime Stories, because
Yes.
people can just go down the list of episodes and go, "Oh, that's the problem I'm having right now. I think we're going to listen to that." Yeah. So, well, thank you so much, Sabrina. So before we go today,
Yeah.
I know, you're passionate about CBF, but what's one mantra or a quote that you like, it's always inspired you, or a piece of advice that you've received that has kind of carried you forward that you can share with our audience?
Oh boy. Um,
Do you have a favorite phrase or something that you say to yourself a lot?
yeah, I say we'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Like failure isn't an option, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I'm in the middle of an audit right now with the employment security, and just a random audit.
Hmm.
And it's just one more thing, right? But every little thing that comes up, every challenge or whatever, that's it. It's an opportunity. It's a challenge. It's something to learn. You're going to be better from it, whether it's something that you're looking forward to or dreading, or it's like that customer that calls who wasn't happy with their clean, or you broke whatever it is, the negative thing. It's like just deal with it. Like just just deal with it, get through it. You're gonna be better for it. So yeah, or if you don't know how to do something, you can figure it out. And that's the great thing with CBF. CBF is a great community. Go in, ask a question, get a lot of answers, do what makes sense to you, right? Have that community
Yeah.
support.
I
So
still do that all the time. I go into the community and ask questions. When my team can't figure something out, I've got 10 different people saying, "Well, we do it this way, we do it this way, we do it this way." And we can figure out what is going to work best for us. But I love that thinking about challenges as opportunities, we
mhm,
tend to focus on them as negatives, but
yeah,
you're the one who decided to become an entrepreneur, so you signed up for this. Right?
exactly.
So
Yes.
let's look at it positively, and that it's an opportunity to
Yeah,
grow. Well, that
for
was
sure.
awesome. Well, great way to end today, and we thank you
Yeah.
so much, Sabrina. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for the opportunity. This was a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Yeah, it has been fun.
Yeah.
And to everyone out there in our True Grime Stories audience, we are so grateful for you. It's because of you that True Grime Stories keeps going. So be sure to download, subscribe, and share this episode with your friends. And be sure to join us on our next exciting episode. And do me a favor, give us a review. And if you heard something today that you'd like to know more about, I'd love to talk with you. There's a link right in the show notes if you want to sign up for a free call. I'd love to learn about your business and talk with you about how CBF could possibly help you grow your business to get through some of your grime stories. So we'll see you next time, everyone. Thanks for being here. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Jeannie.
Thanks. That's a wrap on today's True Grime Stories. Thanks for joining us in uncovering the secrets of cleaning business success. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and download, and check out our show notes for links and info from today's episode, and to learn more about our sponsor, Cleaning Business Fundamentals. Join us next time as we solve another True Grime story.